Hiya, and welcome back to Sileo Tales of a New Dawn. The game that teaches us that to escape from all world problems is to just run away. I need to think of better things to say. So anyways, let's just hop right in. Well then, so or better said, we tried to. Sadly, both Diego and I felt somewhat uncomfortable, and the previously upbeat mood was nowhere to be found. Fortunately for us, Diego would recall just the conversation started to get things back on track. Unfortunately for me, however, it would be at my expense. Oh! Dude, you're gonna love this. Guess what? What? Remember that cake we got for Aiden's birthday last year? That year? Remember it? Dude, I fucking worship the memory. What about it? I found out what really happened to the decoration. Oh, I knew it didn't wind up in the trash. Lay it on me. Diego? No. He's been using it all this time. Never knew purple and sparkly was your thing, Aiden. Diego, why? Sorry, dude, I had to say something. Yeah. Yeah, that... Yeah. You're not wrong. I called it, don't you remember? I told you he was going to keep it. And here we believed his bullshit story about it going in the trash. Dude, look at his face. He's red like that ketchup you owe me, jackass. Get fucked. I hate you guys. Hate you too, bud. Now, I bet the story of how you found out is just as good, am I right? You tell me. So I was doing the laundry. Aiden was staying with me for a bit when he first got to town. He just moved in with Ty today, as a matter of fact. I know you're a newish arrival, but how long have you been here exactly, Aiden? Nearly 3 weeks. What? 3 weeks and you've already landed the bartender? Jeez, with him and Spence, it was something like 6 months. You know Spencer? Just through Ty and Lucas, not personally, though we've chatted once or twice. Who would have guessed he was such a sweetheart, eh? I totally see why Ty fell for him in the first place. Though his loss is your gain, eh, Aiden? If you say so. They were on good terms, at least. I'm glad I got to meet him before he left. He left? When? Why? Only the last day or two, and I think it was just time for him to move on, you know? He'd been in Woodcrest for a long, long time. Huh. Makes me a little sad, if I'm honest. He's gotta do what he's gotta do, I suppose. You're taking a break from work, right? When do you need to be back by? I can swing another 10 minutes or so. Doesn't have to be exact. Ain't seen you fools in ages. There's so much to catch up on. What do you do that has you working nights? Well, I'm a software designer of sorts. I'm not part of a team or anything like that. I work solo, so I get to choose my own hours. And you choose to work overnight? Wouldn't you? The world is so quiet and calm. No traffic noise, no people, nothing. And most of the other workers are finishing up by then, so I'm mostly all alone. Fewer distractions makes it easier for me to focus, and I don't know why, but I always have more energy during the small hours. Guess I'm just a night owl by nature. That's right. What was it you had again? STD? ADHD fucknuts. Oops, yeah, that one. So you're kind of your own boss then? Kind of. I answer to Rusty, but he rivals Lucas when it comes to being shit at computers. He trusts me to make the decisions and do what I need to. He's happy, as long as I keep him apprised. Rusty? Now, where have I heard that name before? Oh, you should ask Lucas. He'll tell you all kinds of stories. He doesn't like old Rusty all that much. Ty at least tries to be diplomatic, but I can tell he feels the same way. Speaking of those two, will you be at the concert tomorrow? I was on the fence until I heard about the blowjob dragon. Now, how could I miss that? I bought a ticket this afternoon, but I guess they oversold. It got refunded an hour or two ago. Everyone had the same idea, I guess. Dude, come on. You know Lucas and Ty. They'll get you in for free. That's how we're getting in. I know, and Lucas offered. I'd rather pay my own way. Why? I don't want anyone's charity, that's all. Even if it costs them nothing, I don't care. I've got money coming out my ass nowadays. I'd rather pay. Even if Lucas would fight me over it. Heh, Aiden is a stubborn ass too. Do what I did and stick it in his pants or something. Or straighten his bank account. You double motherfucker. It was you, wasn't it? Whatever do you mean? You're the reason I was overpaid this week. You had Ty slip me the cash. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm on to you, Aiden. I can see through your damn lies. I was gonna say, it was pretty rich of Diego to call you stubborn, Aiden, and he just went and proved my point. Hey, don't act like you're not Mr. I'm not going to the concert because I can't pay them for it even though I can get in for free. Oof, yeah, alright, you've got me there. Fine, I'll see you boys at the concert then, but I'll be slipping them the money for a ticket. And don't try to stop me. Alright. Either way, you won't regret it. I just came from their practice, and boy, they're sounding mighty. Of course they are. As a kid, when I'd visit Lucas's house, he had a whole room dedicated to busted up snare drums. He used to order 6 by the dozen too. It lasted maybe a month before he'd order another 12. Can't believe it took him so long to switch to carbon fiber. I've heard he even breaks those. He does, but at least those ones stand a chance. You guys never said how'd you meet Lucas and Ty anyway. I worked for both of them. Started with Ty like a year back, but he didn't have quite enough hours for me at the time, so he introduced me to Lucas, who often needed extra hands. There's always plenty of hours when Ty is preoccupied supporting someone. Pretty sure it's what got me hired, and it has a lot to do with why I haven't worked for Lucas in nearly a month. When Aiden arrived in town, I made the introduction. He's working for both now too, but with him and Ty being, you know, he's kinda same as me, not really working much for Lucas. That'll change if he lands a big enough contract, don't you worry. The way I hear it, he's been trying. Yeah, well, competition is rough. Anyway, it's crazy to think we have so many mutual acquaintances. We've got to hang out and share some gossip one of these days. Woodcrest is a small place. It's not just Ty and Lucas either. Really now, who else do you fools know? An old friend of yours from years ago, Logan. You could hear a pin drop. Aside from the sound of the river close by, there was nothing but silence. Tobias had been unwilling to discuss being an orphan, but perhaps he was simply unwilling to discuss his past entirely. As time wore on, my concern grew. Was it possible I had just made a terrible mistake? Either way, what was said, and I was determined to see it through, for Logan's sake. He misses you, you know, even after all these years. He still wants to fix things. Still? You say that as though it's something he's always wanted. I reached out to him, you know. If he'd wanted to fix things back then, he'd have said something. But he said nothing. He didn't even acknowledge me. But I could see he'd read the message. I knew it had reached him. His silence, it told me everything I needed to know. I had just been accepted into uni. I was about 3 weeks away from moving to Sidonia. I didn't know what his plans were, but I suspected we wouldn't wind up at the same place, so it was then or never. I didn't want to leave things like that. We'd been friends for so long. I didn't want to throw it all away over some stupid shit, but clearly, he didn't mind quite as much. He just... No! Shut up, Aiden! I literally don't give a single fuck. Have you ever had someone in your life you've waited for? Waited for them to change, to grow, to process something, whatever. And you've waited for them, not knowing if that thing will ever happen. I hadn't, but I knew Ty had. More than once. In fact, Flynn was one example, but a better example was Glenn. As years passed by, Ty had grown up and matured into a healthy, well-rounded adult, while Glenn remained entirely stagnant. Fixed in a point in his life as though time itself had stood still. Both he and Lucas stuck around for a long time, merely tolerating him as he was, while hoping that he would eventually follow suit. You can't wait forever, Aiden, especially when you really care about that person. The wait, it hurts, and with me moving away, I knew that time was up. I gave him one last chance, opened the door for him, and let him decide whether to walk through it. And when he didn't, there was nothing left but bittersweet memories and grief. I mourned what we had, what might have been. I cried until there were no tears left. And then I buried it, and left it behind. That was the end, right there. That was what you meant by history. Why didn't you want to come back to Woodcrest? It was one of far too many reasons. Just because I'm back doesn't mean a damn thing. It's history, okay? I've processed it and laid it to rest. I refuse to dig it back up. It's done. And fuck Logan for trying to dig it back up after all these years. Fuck him. That selfish prick. Whoa. And you know what? Fuck you for being his lackey. Didn't even have the balls to do it himself. Whoa, Tobias, I promise you, it's not like that. He never asked me to do this. He doesn't even know you're back. I just thought that— You just thought what, huh? Here's a thought for you, Aiden. Mind your own fucking business. How's that for a thought? Dude, come on, relax. Aiden didn't mean nothing. He was just trying to help. He didn't know it was such a sore spot, man. Which is why you mind your own fucking business. Then you wouldn't need to know. I'm sorry, Tobias. So you should be. Me too, dude. It's our bad. And so should you. Fuck both of you guys. I need to get back to work. And with that, Tobias turned and stormed away as Diego and I watched in tense silence. Neither of us made so much as a sound, remained entirely motionless until Tobias disappeared around a bend in from our view. Holy shit, dude. That could not have gone worse. You can say that again. What the fuck just happened? He's not over it, not even close, and I just unwittingly dug it up and saw firsthand how it's festered over the years. Damn, dude, how do you figure that? Isn't it kind of obvious? Why else would he flip like that? He's got some powerful emotions tied up in that situation. Right. Makes sense. So what do we do now? I don't know just yet. I want to talk with Ty about it at least. He might have some good ideas. Whatever we do, I don't want to risk another unexpected outburst. Man, what is it with those today? Beats me. Heh, I guess we're even on the screw. We're even on the screw-ups at least. 1 for 1, right? Oh, come on, your screw-up was way worse than mine. But the way things are looking, your screw-up sure as hell won't be uniting any couples. Pfft, you don't know that. You're probably right, though. Of course I'm right. Come on, dude. How do you even turn something like that around? I guess that means no pizza party, huh? Of course that is what you're focused on in this situation. Dude, it's free pizza. Free pizza. Like, God, the fuck is wrong with you? Right, free pizza. My mistake. Anyway, I guess I'd better be heading home. I want to catch Ty before he goes to sleep. Chat some, get all snuggly. You know the drill. I'll be sleeping alone like the total loser I am. But fuck, dude, I don't even care at this point because my pillow sounds so fucking good. And no work tomorrow, so I get to sleep in. Fuck yeah. Heh, lucky. I reckon Ty and I will be up early preparing everything. As much as I'm looking forward to this concert, it'll be nice when it's over. I feel you, man. I'll catch you tomorrow then. Looking forward to some live music. See you tomorrow. Diego and I went our separate ways, with Diego headed down the southern path while I proceeded east. Tobias, on the other hand, had departed westward, in the direction of town. Our meeting had taken place at the very same intersection where I'd given Logan my number that day. A curious coincidence, though certainly nothing more, as it was indeed the most convenient location for the three of us to meet. Still, I hadn't anticipated such volatility from Tobias. It wasn't the first time I'd seen him blow up like that, but for something like that to happen only minutes into our reunion? Of course, the likelihood of something like that happening with so much to catch up on was naturally much higher, but all the same. I felt as though I understood the situation and why things had gone so poorly, but I was lacking in solutions and desperate to undo whatever damage I had foolishly caused with Tobias. I just hoped Ty would know what to do. Gonna bring up the censorship. Ty? I'm home. Oh, thank God he's wearing pants. Yeah, he's wearing pants. Hello again, my dear. I was just getting ready for bed. That's why I'm here. I was hoping to catch you first. Oh? Whatever for, my love. So I can join you, of course. This is our first official night living together, and there ain't a chance I'm letting you sleep alone. I feel like I might know what happened, so... Well, that is very sweet of you, my dear. I am delighted to have your company. Come then, let us make our preparations so we can promptly reconvene beneath the sheets. It's a plan. See you soon. Very soon indeed, my love. Over the following 15 minutes or so, we each darted about the house fulfilling our nightly routines, occasionally passing one another in the hallway where we exchanged warm, loving smiles. Ty had something of a head start, but I had the advantage of youthful vigor. And more accurately, I was somewhat less thorough with certain tasks. Who brushes for 3 whole minutes anyways? Eventually, we came face to face once again in the laundry room where we planned to discard our clothing in the washing hamper before retiring to the bedroom. Of course, it was obvious that Ty managed his pace to ensure he would arrive when I did, and I didn't judge him for it, because I had been doing the exact same thing myself. We both chuckled, caught red-handed by the other doing the exact same thing, and with no reason to hold back, we both began to undress, neither one of us daring to look away from the wondrous view ahead even for a moment. Going our separate ways once again gave me the perfect opportunity to reflect on the realities of the situation. Ty had always been an expert at making people feel comfortable and at ease, and I was no exception. As I moved from room to room collecting the things I needed from my suitcase and bringing them to their appropriate locations, I found that spaces had been cleared in advance for those items. That, in addition to the loving smiles he would offer every time our paths crossed, made me feel at home here. Of course, it didn't simply feel that way. This was my home, and I knew I was going to be very happy here. When all was finally all said and done, there was nothing left to do but head for the bedroom and get myself comfortable. And once more, like clockwork, Ty appeared at the end of the hallway with another of his perfect smiles. We made our way into the bedroom and beneath the covers together. Oh yeah, I made a good choice bringing up the censorship. I wanted to say, it is very thoughtful of you being here so that we may go to bed together. Little things like that are so often overlooked, but so important all the same. Though I sincerely hope you did not cut anything else short to make it a reality. I would be beside myself to learn you had. I would have if that's what it came to, but as it would happen, our meeting with Tobias was shorter than anticipated. Oh? Oh dear, is everything alright? That does not sound good. I'm afraid it wasn't. And no, everything is not alright. I kind of blew it, Ty. Oh, my dear, I am sorry. That is terrible news. I understand if you do not wish to speak on the matter, but I do, and it's fine. Actually, I've gotten in over my head a little, and I was hoping to ask your advice. I can't speak English. But of course, my love, it would be my pleasure. Why not begin by telling me what happened, Well, things were going well at first. It just felt like the old days with all the bickering over who was the gayest. Tobias even delivered one of his classically ridiculous ramblings, the one about the dangers of not saying no homo and how before you know it, everything around you would turn into cocks. What on earth? Is that truly how your generation communicates? Nah, it's just what happens when you have an ADHD monkey, a short-tempered dingo, and, a comparatively well-adjusted and particularly handsome husky? I don't know about that, but I'll take it. Anyway, I asked him about being an orphan. He never mentioned that to us. Not even once. He stubbornly refused to talk about it. We got the conversation back on track, thankfully. But then I brought Logan up, and his response was volatile. I tried to reason with him. I figured I'd already screwed it up, so I didn't have much left to lose. But I might have been wrong about that. He said all this stuff about how Logan had his chance. He said he mourned their friendship and eventually buried it. He insisted it was a dumb thing, and that was that. He just shut down any possibility of things being different. And he was furious at both of us. Diego didn't even do anything. They stormed off. But not before tossing some F-bombs our way. My goodness, I cannot say I know him well, but I have never seen him fly off the rails quite like that. That is highly out of character. Any immediate theories? What does your gut tell you? Why yes, he is not over Logan like he claims, not by a long shot. I thought the same thing myself, so at least we're on the same page. But the thing I'm struggling with is what exactly I should do next. Do I approach him and try to fix things? Do I steer clear of him at all costs? Do I get help from, say, Lucas? What should I do? I see why this dilemma has you stumped. There is no obvious right answer or way forward. Okay, here are my suggestions. First, keep your distance for at least a couple of days. Do not approach him just yet. Give him time to calm down and process everything. I suspect he will approach you first. He's rather self-conscious and will not be pleased that today made him look quite like quite the fool. It will bother him until it is addressed, so I doubt he will wait long. If he does not approach you and a few days have already passed, then is the time you should approach him. But regardless of who approaches who, I suggest letting him choose the topic. After what happened tonight, there's no way all of this will not come up again, so have patience, my dear, and see what the coming days bring. I knew you'd have some good advice. You always do. Thanks, Ty. Not a problem at all, my love. I'm happy to help, and I admit, I am curious to see exactly how all this plays out. There's been so much drama in our lives as of late. And speaking of, tomorrow's the big day, you know. We should make sure we get plenty of rest, and those bags under your eyes suggest you could use it. You've got me there. It's been so busy lately, I think I'm starting to run out of steam. Hang in there, my love. Get plenty of rest tonight, soldier on through tomorrow. And then we will have all the time in the world to rest and recuperate. Looking forward to enjoying a few lazy days at home with you. Well, within reason, my dear. We have been neglecting the bar, as of late. I would like to address that fairly promptly if I am able, but I am sure another day or two could not hurt. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, were there any developments in the situation at the bar earlier? What did you say his name was? Rue, right? Indeed, and hardly I am afraid. Today was one thing after another, as you know. Though I did arrange for some extra security as planned, and I did speak with Lucas on the matter. Turns out he knew a fascinating detail I was not privy to. Oh yeah? What's that? Apparently, Rue and Glenn are an item. Yikes, that can't be a good thing. Indeed, and alas, I find it only raises more questions than it solves. I'm no closer to knowing just what they have planned. Security will be watching them closely, but it would sure be helpful if they knew what to watch for. You know, in these situations, I find it helps to review the basic facts. For all we know, the answer could be staring us in the face. That does seem wise, my dear. At the very least, it cannot hurt. Exactly, so Glenn's version of the Black Claws, what do we know about them? Well, much like our version, Glenn is a three-piece. He performs the vocals and plays the bass. The guitarist is Rue, and the drummer, his name is Rue. Eh, he plays the drums too? How does that work? Oh no, the other member's name is Rue, as in kangaroo. He is a kangaroo. That's not his real name though, right? I do not believe so, no. He simply prefers Rue, which actually begs the question of why they call Rue by his last name and not his first. Didn't you just say it wasn't his actual name? I mean the Rue we met today, the Canid. Wait, Rue isn't his real name? No, I mean, yes, Rue is his real name. His surname at any rate. The kangaroo Rue, that is not his real name. I'm so confused. The man we met today, the Shiba Inu, his full name is Carius Rue. Oh, don't worry. His name is Carius Rue, a name I have known for some time. Though today was the first time actually meeting him, so Rue's pronounced... Hold on. Let me, try and figure this out. Where's the display capture? We're going to try and, figure this out. Okay. Hang on, let me hide this image. Here we go. Okay, so... we have the Shiba... Then we have the kangaroo that is also named Rue. How about this? We just call this one we're just going to call him I don't know, let's just call him by his actual name. I feel like confusing stuff is hilarious. I feel like it'll be funny. The man I've known him for a name I have known for quite some time, though today was the first time actually meeting him. Karai? That's kind of fancy and super foreign. Kind of reminds me of those fancy names Apollo was so fond of adopting. Ro. Oh, Ro. Yeah, let's just say that. Same origin, if I'm not mistaken. I see, so instead of using that cool-ass name, he insists on going by Ro, while the other guy insists on being Rue? As far as I can tell, that is the gist of it, yes. Man, that must get confusing. Of that I am certain. Alas, I know little more than what I have already said. They were members of Glenn's existing band. They merely adopted the Black Claws moniker a short time ago. I see, I didn't glean anything useful from that, unfortunately. Nor here, I'm afraid. Though there must have been some turmoil when they learned the video only boosted our sales. If you recall, ticket sales were one of the two metrics used to determine the winner. Our venues have the same limits on capacity, so the worst case scenario tickets-wise is now a tie. Of course, reviews are likely to play a major part as well, but I feel confident we will do well. With Glenn's original plan dead in the water, Jay's newly reinforced confidence has been impossible to miss. I do not believe the smile left his face even one tonight, and his playing was absolutely flawless. But there was something else putting a smile on his face, was there not? I did not discuss it at length with our taken friend, but from what he did have the opportunity to say, I understand you may have played a role in making that happen. A little one, honestly. A little one, maybe. Honestly, it was Diego who set the stage, even if he did so by screwing up, but if he hadn't, I'd have never had the opportunity. Keep what I'm about to say to yourself, okay? I promised Eric I would barely an hour ago, and this isn't even the first time I've broken that promise already. Oh dear, worry not, my love, for my lips are sealed. Okay, well, after we left Diego's last night, it seems he felt a little jealous that he was missing out on all the fun we were about to have. That led him to hooking up with the guy on a cruising app, and who arrived at the door but Eric himself, also known on the app as Mr. Plow. Mr. Plow? Oh my. And I can only imagine the fright Diego received when he answered the door. I would have quite liked to see his face. You and me both. Anyway, at first Diego was going to turn him away, but Eric was strutting his stuff, and Diego was desperate, so it happened. When I dropped in this morning, Eric hadn't left yet. Diego was embarrassed and ashamed of what he'd done, so he tried to hide the fact that Eric was there, and Eric kind of snapped. Nobody likes when people treat them as though they're a mistake, and Eric is no exception. He sure ain't. Anyway, things came to a head and Eric stormed off pretty much the same way Tobias did, sans clothing. Oh my, did he? Nah, his clothes were out in the living room. The road was spared the sight of his junk this day. I sure wasn't, though. Anyway, I figured he could use a shoulder, and the only person I knew that could help was Jay, so I called him up, and he headed straight over. I don't know the specifics of what happened after that. Eric was all flustered when I brought the topic up later on, so I didn't go digging for details, but suffice to say, it went pretty damn well. I see, and the next thing we know, the roles have reversed, and Eric is supporting Jay instead. Very out of character. That threw Lucas for quite a spin. After all, he knows Eric better than just about anybody. Speaking of Lucas, don't you think he was kind of harsh with Eric? Some of the stuff he said, it was kind of mean of him. Indeed, Lucas was having a bad day, and not that it excuses his behavior. And considering Eric's greatly improved behavior this evening, I would not be surprised if Lucas felt rather terrible about it all. Lucas has his pride to contend with, but I also know that he cares about Eric, even though that may seem a little hard to believe sometimes. I suspect he will swallow his pride and make things right again with Eric. You think so? Indeed, I suspect Lucas will make us both proud. God, Oh my god, we're playing as Lucas now. I always envied Ty's adaptability. He was good at just about everything he tried his hands at, and his success only encouraged him to try even more new things. It wasn't like that for me. What was I good at? Lifting heavy things, smacking things with sticks, the basic for an event promotion business, and a music career, respectively. There's hope for simpletons like me. Yet, Dom, how are we looking for fuses? It took him several moments to crawl out from under the stage, where he was still hard at work getting everything powered up. Luckily, he had good news. Everything on the board checks out. We're almost set. I'm just short 132A fuse. Any ideas? Didn't we use one of those when we built a stage here a couple weeks back? Aiden's first day, remember? Did we? We did. Remember they had that wall of old TVs at the back of the stage? Pulled so much power it tripped the master fuse. Right. We had no choice but to tap into the side power, and we used a 32A fuse to bridge 32A fuse on the bridge. Glad you remembered, because my brain left the building hours ago. I'll go fetch that fuse and get us fully powered up. Great. And hey, once you've done that, go home, get some sleep. You've more than earned it. Are you sure? I'm sure. Not much left to do now. All stuff I can knock out alone in half an hour. Go get some shut-eye. What the ever-loving fuck do we keep saying, Lucas? What the fuck do we keep saying, Lucas? What do we keep saying, Lucas? Wipe that smile off your face. Thanks, boss. Last fuse won't take more than a few minutes. I'll head on my way once I'm done. Thanks for coming in, too. Sorry if I ruined any plans. At least with Eric here, we're finishing sooner than expected. Don't know whether to thank him or spank him at the moment. I'll leave that decision in your capable hands. I'll see you tomorrow when all this hard work starts paying off. See you tomorrow. I rely on Dom more than I like to admit. The moment technology comes into the equation, I'm totally useless. Computers, phones, tablets, all those gizmos the kids parade about, not a chance in hell. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Okay, so Lucas is 40 at this point. 40 year old use flip phones. Do people still use old flip phones? As a result, flip phone usage is starting to trend, especially with users in their 30s and 40s. This is an article that I'm reading. Okay, a lot of users are enjoying the nostalgia from their old Razer flip phones of the early 2000s, says Mendoza. Not only is there a sense of reclaiming the past, but there are always folks who enjoy bucking mainstream ideas. Or you have people like Lucas who don't understand technology. He definitely uses a flip phone. I struggle with even the simplest tasks and get frustrated quickly when things aren't going my way, and they never go my way. The computer in my office is older than most of my staff, but it's the one computer I know how to use. Who cares if it took me 20 years? It still does what I need. Most of what I need. It's good enough. Dom disagrees, of course, and so does Ty. They're both always hounding me to upgrade. Easy for them to say. Won't take them 2 decades to learn how to use it. They can replace the old one over my dead body. It was hard not to feel inadequate at times. Ty was so capable, and yet I was so limited. He was always the smarter one between us. That was obvious. But he disputed it all the time. One day, he'd even forced me to take an IQ test, a rigged one obviously, designed to boost my confidence and self-esteem. It had to be rigged. How else would you explain my scoring 2 points ahead of Ty? That ain't possible. All the same, there were so many things I could be jealous over, but one specific talent of his made me more envious than any of the others, and naturally, it was something I was absolutely horrible at. Swallowing my pride, admitting I was wrong. I didn't even know how to maintain small talk with someone like Eric. I never knew what to say, but I could not let that stop me. I had to try, I just had to, and so I took a deep breath before approaching where Eric was perched on the side of the almost finished stage, his attention captured by his phone. Hey, already I struggled to find the right words. I sat down beside Eric with a frustrated sigh. This was a conversation that needed to happen, no matter how awkward or uncomfortable it wound up being. Hey, boss man. How'd the stage inspection go? All looking shipshape? Everything checks out. Just grunt work and cleanup left to do now. Sick, Dom was looking ready to collapse. Told him yet? Yeah, he's heading home soon, once the last fuse is in place. And before you ask, yes, you can leave as well. I'll handle what's left. Before you go, though, there's something I wanted to say to you. Yeah? Like what? Well, you see, congratulations on your relationship, I mean. What the? You too? If it's supposed to be a secret, you're doing a terrible job at hiding it. You were like a different person today. You showed concern for someone else, and you worked hard to boot. Hey, I always work hard. But never this hard, especially not when you didn't need to. I have to admit, I'm impressed. I also wanted to say, I'm sorry. Earlier on, I said some things I know I shouldn't have. It was uncalled for. I won't make excuses for it. I was wrong. What? Everyone hide under your desks. The world is ending. Lucas just admitted he was wrong. Lucas just admitted he was wrong. He just admitted he was wrong. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Lucas just admitted he was wrong. We're all gonna die. Thanks for Jesus Christ, Lucas. Stop smiling. Stop smiling, Lucas. Stop smiling. Thanks for coming in. You sped things up a great deal, and you were a pleasure to work with today. I hope that continues. Sorry about the light, and sorry that I didn't tell you. You were kinda cranky that day. I was going to, but I chickened out. I know, and I need to work on that. I'm not the greatest at handling stress, and you've obviously noticed I have a temper. Psh, it wouldn't be you without that signature scowl. Thank you for saying it. Signature scowl? I don't have a... There it is. Oh, relax, big guy. I'm only kidding. Mostly. And for the record, it's awesome seeing you smile. Don't see it often, which makes it all the more rewarding. And I don't think I didn't see you smiling just a moment ago. It was precious. What is up with the constant disturbances in the universe today? I don't know. I mean, Russell got mad. Russell got mad. Eric is being a good person. Lucas is smiling. I felt mocked, as though Eric was making a laughingstock of me. But interspersed throughout his digs were genuine statements and thoughtful responses, delivered with a total absence of flirting, no less. Tide once pointed out that I tended to get angry when I felt intimidated, and I always felt intimidated by the things I didn't understand, be it the kids of today and their odd little dances, modern technology, or this double-edged dialogue so many people use. Eric did it, so did Tobias, even Diego. I foolishly preferred to think I understood them all, but I didn't understand the first thing about how they communicated. Okay, so... Okay, so... We have regular boomers. You know the one, this specimen, hang on, let me turn on my display capture real quick and also turn this on. Okay, so we have, the regular boomers in existence. And then, we have Lucas. And Lucas is... I don't know what happened between, Lucas and Eric. But Lucas is a fucking uber boomer. He's like, I don't understand kids and your newfangled technology. Pa! Deny technology. Regardless, Eric had made a genuine effort today, and he'd showcased many positive personality changes. Caring about somebody was a good look for him. Okay, the Slim Diego and Modern Diego being in the same place, that was my fault, because I had the pathetic thing up. The Lucas smiling and admitting he was wrong, that is like a sign of the end times. We are all not going to live. We're all going to fucking die. And regardless of how intimidated his jokes may have made me feel, I was determined I would remain calm and collected. I wanted to encourage this new Eric, reinforce those new traits of his, and so, anyway, good work, Eric. Thank you. There it is. There's that smile, and here I thought you were just going to get mad that I pointed it out. There's still time for that, so don't push your luck. There's the Lucas we all know and love. Okay, as for the Russell getting mad, we can blame Diego for that. Shit, we can blame a lot of shit on Diego. Loud and clear, boss. Loud and clear. Silence fell between us for a moment that did not feel tense or uncomfortable like usual. It seemed that Eric and I had bonded somehow. Had I pulled it off despite my lack of social skills? Well, I'd best be getting home. You'll be at the concert tomorrow? Wouldn't miss it. See you then. I watched in silence as Eric departed the venue through the metal double doors opposite the stage. I began processing all that had just transpired, only for a familiar voice to catch my attention. I'm impressed, Lucas. Huh? You're still here? Sorry, I overheard you two talking and couldn't help myself. You did great. I know you struggle with that sort of stuff, but you genuinely knocked it out of the park tonight, Lucas. Just wanted you to know that. I'll leave you to your thoughts now. I don't have the patience, Lucas. I don't have the fucking patience, Lucas. Wipe that smile off your face, Lucas. Catch you tomorrow, boss. As Dom followed in Eric's tracks, I couldn't help but smile. After all, I'd knocked it out of the park tonight. Jesus Christ, I put some pants on. Are you certain? Lucas seems a little too stubborn to apologize, don't you think? I've known Lucas for 34 years or so now. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world as we know it. Okay. I've known Lucas for 34 years or so now. When he knows he has made a mistake, very little can stop him from putting it right. I doubt his apology will be elegant, but I know he will apologize. Now then, if there are no other pressing matters, shall we get some shut-eye? Sure thing, but would you mind if I made a small request? Oh, please go right ahead. Tonight, I want to be the big spoon. Aw. Now that sounds positively wonderful, my dear. I accept. I scooched in close as Ty switched out the lights and rolled over, allowing me to close in behind him. I did my best to be the big spoon, but Ty was so much larger than I was that it limited our options somewhat. Nonetheless, the most important thing was that we were snuggled up tightly together. And then oh. Aiden, my goodness. So much for that good night's sleep. Okay, this is new. Okay, this is actually adorable. I'm going to show this. But no, something went horribly wrong. Like, look at this. It's all bright. And that is adorable. Despite having fallen asleep as the... Hang on, I'm gonna just turn off the window entirely. Turn it off entirely. I feel like there's going to be a pair of butt cheeks somewhere, and I don't think I can show that at all. Despite having fallen asleep as the big spoon, I awoke to discover that we had instead swapped position at some stage during the night, leaving me nestled in the comfort of Ty's loving embrace. Though the reversal wasn't unexpected, I'd have been lying if I told you I minded one bit. I always enjoyed the tender moments we shared. So much so. Dawn of the final day. Update-wise. Yeah. Yep, that is exactly right. I might do the same thing that I do with Distant Travels with this one. I always enjoyed the tender moments we shared, so much so that I was eagerly yearning for the next, day in and day out, as though I were an addict, and maybe I was? But stirring from a deep and peaceful slumber to find myself buried within Ty's impossibly soft fur, his arms wrapped tightly around my chest, it evoked an unfamiliar feeling from deep within. I'd never been an anxious sort of person. It wasn't in my nature to fear any aspect of the comings and goings of everyday life. And yet, for reasons I struggled to fathom, for what might have been the very first time in my life, I felt safe. But safe from what? Or safe from whom? Heck, did it even matter? So long as Ty remained by my side, answers to those questions would remain entirely unneeded. And that, to me at least, was the very best kind of safety there is. Are you awake, my love? How'd you guess? Your tail is wreaking havoc on my sensitive areas. Oh, sorry. Do not apologize, my love, but I'm curious, what has you so cheerful this morning? I want to wake up like this, in your arms, every morning for the rest of my life. I think I can manage that for you. Thanks. I love you, Ty. I love you too, my dear, but please, your tail? Shit, sorry, I can't help it. I briefly fought to hold back a yawn, a battle lost in record time as my jaw involuntarily opened wide. That was quite the yawn. Are you still tired, my love? Huh? Oh no, I just, had to yawn. Is that so? Yeah, I just... And we fell asleep again. Just as I thought. Aww. Ty? I had rested my eyes for only a few seconds. At least, that's all it had felt like. During that time, however, Ty had taken his leave. And a brand new and delicious smell had arrived upon the crisp morning air. A smell that could only mean one thing. Breakfast. Without regard for my decency, I nakedly scuttled from the bedroom and down the hall in a frantic and desperate search to locate the source of such a mouth-watering scent. Oh god. Yeah, glad I hit the screen. And as it would happen, the fragrance of Ty's cooking wasn't the only surprise the morning had in store. Entering the kitchen, I was met with the most amazing view. So amazing, in fact, that I briefly forgot all about breakfast. Of all the world's greatest vistas, nothing compared to the magnificence of Ty's impeccably toned glutes. Mother of God. Flawless timing, my love. I was just about to serve. Are those my sunglasses? Yep, good thing they were sitting here on the counter, or I'd have been blinded by the luster of those ridiculously firm cheeks. And what a tragedy that would have been. Okay. He's wearing clothing, so I feel like I can, bring back the window. But I'm still gonna hide it a bit. Because oh man, kiss the chef? Seriously? You're making this way too easy for me, you know. I swooped in with astonishing agility, firmly planting a kiss square on Ty's lips before he could even begin to react. I'm glad to see the apron works exactly as intended. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist, my dear. Well, who wouldn't want to? Hey, hold on a second. With an indignant scowl, I tore the sunglasses from my face before leaning in close, eyeballing Ty with my most accusatory stare. Is Autumn miss, my love? That's twice now. Twice! And you thought I wouldn't notice? Excuse me? I don't know. Ah, right there, you see? Now I've caught you red-handed. You never use contractions. That's 3 in the last minute. You've got some explaining to do, mister. Do I? And what if I refuse? Well, I'll be mad, and I'll never kiss the chef again, ever. Come now, we both know you will never be able to make good on that threat. Never! Oh, the eggs are ready. Eggs? Indeed, and bacon too. I'm making eggs Benedict, and with my signature homemade hollandaise, no less. Homemade? Of course, say, wouldn't you like some? Okay, that time was definitely on purpose. Whatever do you mean, my love? I do hope you aren't making accusations you could never hope to prove. Aiden, has anybody ever told you how adorable you are when you are angry? But never mind that for now. Come take a seat, my love. I'll serve breakfast before it gets cold, and then I'll explain myself. Sound reasonable to you, my dear? You're lucky you're too damn sexy to refuse. I just knew you would see things my way. I grumpily took perch upon one of Ty's wooden stools and rested my cheek in the palm of my left hand, positioning myself so that I could watch as Ty began stacking the ingredients. Then I'll hide the window again. I don't know if we're going to see butt cheeks again. He buttered the freshly toasted muffins first, placing them in the dead center of our plates. Next up was the bacon, carefully sliced and placed atop the muffins, evenly covering the tops without hanging over the edges. He then placed a thin slice of cheese atop the still sizzling bacon, which immediately began melting on contact. Next up, a perfectly poached egg was delicately balanced on top. Then, grasping a small stainless steel pitcher, he then carefully coated the two stacks with his homemade hollandaise sauce. Finally, he adorned each meal with an assortment of herbs, salt, and pepper before collecting both plates and delivering one before my twitching nose. He took his own seat opposite mine with his back to the kitchen windows. All he's wearing is an apron. That's literally all he's wearing. I would love to hear your thoughts, my love. I've been refining this recipe for a while now, you see. What's the occasion? No occasion. Do I truly need one to cook a delicious breakfast for my beloved? I took my first bite, eager to discover if the taste was as heavenly as the delicious smell. And I wasn't disappointed in the slightest. Holy crap, your hard work is paid off. It tastes incredible. I am truly overjoyed to hear it, my love. You see, I have long been toying with the idea of opening a little earlier in the day to serve breakfast. This is one of the recipes I'm hoping to offer. Once everything settles down, I would like to follow through with those plans, though I suspect we will require additional staff. But that is hardly a concern for now. If the other recipes are as good as this one, you'll put all the competition out of business. We'll, my dear, we'll put the competition out of business. Yeah, you're definitely just making fun of me now. And what if I am? I admit that grumpy scowl of yours gives me butterflies every time, though I would be lying if I said my use of contractions was simply to tease you, my dear. Then what gives? You see, a great deal of my vernacular was influenced by a certain many thousand-year-old raven, which is all good and well from certain applications, but it's not very hip now, is it? Do the kids still use hip? You know damn well they don't. You're not that old. I only jest, my love. Lucas is like... Let me try and find it. You know the one that I'm talking about. Actually, I might hide Bazinga Bird first. Bye-bye, Bazinga Bird. The alert box is visible again. Where is it? Here we go. This is essentially Lucas. This is essentially Lucas. That is literally Lucas. And you cannot deny it either. None of you can deny it. That is literally Lucas in a nutshell. I only jest, my love. Though it is true that I wish to modernize my dialogue. At least a little. Why's that? I've dated older men before, but Apollo was, well, let us merely say he was an outlier in that regard. Nah. Don't do that. Don't throw a high-tech computer at him. Just, place, a phone or, hang on, let me... Yeah, here we go. Tell him he needs to understand the apps that the cool kids are using. You know the apps, like, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter... Twitch. Just have him learn how to do all that. Okay, I've dated older men before, but Apollo was, well, let us merely say he was an outlier in that regard. Nonetheless, I enjoyed his articulate and eloquent manner of speaking very much. I felt I could learn a thing or two, and that emulating his speech would serve me both well professionally and romantically. But all of my staff are far younger than I, and contrary to my predictions, it would seem that much of my clientele follows suit. Of course, I understand that said clientele enjoys things as they are right now, but all the same, perhaps I could stand to be a little less old-fashioned. I'm certain I'm quite the source of embarrassment from time to time. Embarrassment? Are you nuts? I'm proud to have landed someone as mature, as handsome, as amazing as you are. I'm not embarrassed by you, not one bit. Well, I am truly elated to hear you say that, my love. I do worry what people might think from time to time, with the difference in our ages and such. But one cannot live life in fear of being judged. Nonetheless, just as I modeled my speech after Apollo's, I've decided I would like to remodel it from yours. Be that contractions, colloquialisms, or maybe even the odd fuck from time to time. Ew, who knew you were such a loose cannon? I am certain Diego is already well ahead of me in his daily cursing. But it is certainly a step in the right direction, would you not agree? Well, I don't know about that. I hope you have no objections, my love. None, just so long as you know I love you the way you are. You don't need to change a thing for me. What are you doing? What are you doing, bud? What are you doing? But so long as you are doing this for your own reasons, I respect that and will support you every step of the way. I am, and thank you for having my back. Don't tell me you're going to stop with the my dears and my loves. You're such a you thing, it wouldn't be the same without them. Well, I suppose I can make the odd concession, my dear. Yay! I am pleased you approve. Now then. I don't suppose you would care for a napkin? I make the eggs a little runny, not to mention the sauce. I'll be heartbroken if someone were to fall and scorch something important. I admit, I'm being really careful to make sure that doesn't happen. Why are you naked anyway? The smell of breakfast was just so captivating that well, priorities, I guess. Besides, you can't talk. You've got nothing on under that apron. What was that song? I probably can't play it because, like, copyright shit, but, like, you know the one from Majora's Mask. The world is ending. It's like 3 days later. Besides, you can't talk. You've got nothing on under that apron. What gives? Come now, don't tell me you didn't enjoy the view. Enjoy it? I had half of mine to announce my arrival with my... I'm done. Let's say that off to the... Ah! 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 Why? Why? Ah! Well, now, I feel as though I have missed out. Well, I'm glad to... Ah! Ah! I just hope there's nobody hiding out of those bushes. I suspect the view from out there is every bit as enticing. Well, given your state of undress, I think it is your dignity most at risk. Yikes, now I can think of his hair hidden away in the undergrowth with a pair of binoculars. He'd be loving this. Well, he did seem to have turned over a new leaf. I suppose all we can do is pray that the lesson is stuck. Yeah, it is. The final hours. Old habits die hard, though. I guess time will tell. Indeed it will, and I wouldn't worry about any peeping toms. The side gate is code locked and the fences are exceptionally difficult to climb from outside the property. Unfortunately, I know that all too well. I once locked myself out and had the most awful time attempting to gain entry to the property. The living room door was open, you see, which is how I hope to regain entry. Hence why the side gate now has a code lock. If you had trouble, there's surely no way the rat is getting in. How did you get back in, by the way? I had my phone with me and Lucas has a spare key for emergencies. Just one of far too many times he has come to my rescue. Good thing he's so dependable. Speaking of, think you'll have everything ready at the venue on time? Well, it is as you said, my dear. He is dependable. There's nothing to worry about. How are you feeling? Nervous? It's been a long while since you last played to a crowd this size, huh? Indeed it has, but any anxiety I feel is for different reasons. After all, our rehearsals went so well that I cannot help but be confident. Rather, it is Roe that I am concerned about. We have no way of tracking his ticket number, no way of knowing who he might have sent in his stead, and no way of knowing just who to watch. For all intents, we will be as blind as bats. Before I started breakfast, I did some more digging in the hope I would find some sort of clue. Something that might point us in the right direction. In particular, I wanted to see if Roe had a criminal record or anything of the sort. Okay, find anything? A speeding fine. A single speeding fine. Ever. Either he drives at grand use or he simply doesn't drive. By contrast, my several dozen speeding fines make me look like some kind of delinquent. Wow, had no idea I was standing such a badass. Well, why own a top-of-the-line racing motorcycle if you're not willing to push it to the limit from time to time? You owned a bike? What happened to it? The helmet would flatten my mohawk, you see, and that simply would not do. So vain. I admit the mohawk situation was a minor frustration, but in truth, it was more a decision of logistics. They could only carry limited passengers and cargo, and I was awfully sick of being rained on. But it was fun though, right? Oh, very much so. I have driven some awfully nice cars in my time, but not even foreign supercars can match the fun factor of a humble motorcycle. Especially here with all these winding mountain back roads to explore. For instance, there's a seldom traveled road that runs along the outer perimeter of the surrounding mountains. It has the most tremendous views of the Malachite Forest, and there are even a few old abandoned mines scattered along the route. Though the mine's out of commission, the road is little more than a scenic route these days. You would encounter little to no traffic along the way. The condition of the route was something of a concern when I last rode out that way. I understand, however, that issue has since been rectified, courtesy of some budgetary strings pulled by a pair of feathered hands. With loose gravel sending you off a cliff no longer concerned, I can hardly imagine a better road to open up the throttle while enjoying the wonderful scenery. Oh shit, that does sound like a good time. Let's do that someday, just you and me and our trusty mechanical steeds. Oh my, you wish to learn how to ride? I already know how. I mean, kinda. I used a moped to get around in Sidonia. It was cheap on gas, and I could skip the rush hour traffic. Not that riding a moped is the same as riding a real motorcycle, but they're both the same class of driver's license, so they surely can't be that different. Many of the core skills are transferable. You know very well that you are a quick study. Many mopeds are automatic or single gear, so at the very least you will need to learn how to shift gears and how to operate the clutch. Wait, clutch? Motorcycles have those? Oh geez, this is already starting to sound more complicated than I'd bargained for. Fear not, my love, at least the transmission is sequential, so you'll never have to worry about shifting to the wrong gear. Trust me, you will master something like this in no time. I sure hope you're right. Well then, let's make that our goal. First step is to get a motorcycle. Goodness, it has been some time since the last rode. But you know the saying, it's like riding a bike. I am certain it will all come flooding back to me the moment I fire the ignition. Which is to say very well. That sounds like a wonderful plan to me, my love. Something I look forward to, I dare say. With an excited grin, I swallowed the last spoonful of my breakfast. My grin faded to a disappointed frown on seeing my plate was empty, which elicited a gentle chuckle from across the table. Don't worry, my love, there's a lifetime of breakfasts ahead. I'll make that recipe again for you some other day. I'm holding you to that. Well then, you have a very busy day ahead of us. Leave the dishes in my care. Why not take this opportunity to have your morning shower? Sounds good to me. Will you be joining me? As appealing an invitation that is, I'm afraid I have already had mine. Another day, perhaps? I'm holding you to that, too. Very well, my love. Oh, and when you have finished, I've already taken the liberty of reorganizing my closet room for your clothing, so feel free to unpack your suitcase. Will do. Thanks, Ty. No problem at all, my dear. Here, let me grab your plate. Ty stacked both of our plates before turning away and carrying them towards his dishwasher, allowing me yet another opportunity to enjoy the view from behind. God damn. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Well, the universe is ending. Just ever so casually ending. It's the end of the world. Honestly, I'm just completely over all the drama in these visual novel games. I mean, I swear to God, Echo was... Actually, no, I won't say anything about Echo, since I assume you're still playing it. I'm not going to say anything about it. Now we have to deal with the Tobias drama and the band drama, right? Well, the band drama is going to be like almost immediately. I don't know about the Tobias drama though. Is it going to be one of those, like, Tales of Woodcrest thing that they're doing? I don't know. I'll have to, like, update this game soon so we get more of Day 19. Probably update it tomorrow. I feel like it'll be a bit of a pain in the ass, but oh well. Anyways, I'm thinking I might make a TikTok, like, live, so do that. So, stay safe, have a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, or almost right away, depending on whether or not you stay.